Hey there and welcome. My name is Carlos Berdes, and in this video we are going to take a look on how I build Kev's Lunch sliding bases for paper miniatures. So let's get to it. So what you are going to need for the bases is the base itself, double-sided tape, a good pair of scissors, an old pen, the finer the tip the better, an exo blade, exo knife, hobby knife, how do you prefer to call it, a metal ruler, and a mat or some place where you can cut safely without damaging your table. The bases, they come like in a sheet of 10, and what I do is that I cut them in order to isolate at least 2 at a time, and after isolating for 1. So let's work on this one base. The first thing is we can note that we have some dotted lines where we are supposed to fold the base, and we have some hashed area, and these hashed areas we are going to take them out. In order to take them out, the hobby knife, the ruler, and it's quite simple. You just put it right there and you cut. First I prefer to cut at the 2 sides and afterwards on the longer part, but the thing about cutting paper with an exo blade is that it will take the edge of your blade quite quickly. So you either will have to pass multiple times as far as you start going, or you have to change your blade quite frequently. It's a question of investment. What you can see that I do after cutting it also is that I will then look by the other side and see if it passes through. Like probably you can already see that it has a little bit, but don't bend it a lot, otherwise you have problems later on. Also, try to put always your ruler on top of the paper so that it doesn't budge. If you put it in that it only takes a little bit, when you apply force it will move like that, and then you have problems. You won't have a precise cut. We then take out the 2 parts that are supposed to go out. And then we will have 1 slit and a bigger rectangle here. Now in the dotted lines, we take the pen, the old pen, that then it won't have that much ink. And we will apply some force with the ruler and the pen on the dotted lines in order to bend and break the fiber of the paper, thus making it easier for us to fold it later on. Then I prefer to already do a pre-fold so that we can see that everything is going to the right places, because what we are going to do is that we are going to fold the bigger rectangle on top of the smaller, on top of the part of the slit, and then we will fold the other side so that we'll have it like that. What you can do, and I also will say that I think it's a good thing to do, is that you can take a black marker and try to pass it on the area that it's going to be the slit, a permanent marker. It's not mandatory for it to work, but I find it a good compromise. You can put a little bit bigger as well. You can also do it with color pencil, but then you have to get a very good one. Otherwise, it stays a little bit of gray instead of black. So that you can see here, we have this slit colored in black, so that it gets darker afterwards and gives a better quality for the base afterwards. To glue the parts together, we will take the double-sided tape. The thing is, my double-sided tape is 12 millimeters. It's bigger than what I will need. And we are going to glue always using the bigger rectangle side as a base for our size, because we want to glue this side and this side, but not that when we fold, we will have here on these parts here, like we don't want glue or double-sided tape here and here. The first thing though, and then you can take some part off. The most important part is the one that is going to be folding what I will say is the inside, this first part that I'm doing. Because this has to respect the limits, much more than the other side. The other side, what we can do, I will save it for later, like this part that I took off before. The other side, what we can do, and it's easier, as much for the one that are starting, is that we can glue it already there, and then we will have some part that's sticking out, and we cut it out right now, if you are not like already used to which is the size that you need. And we are also saving it for later. Okay, what we are going to do now, we don't need to put double-sided tape here, neither here, neither here. We just have to take the side with the plastic so that we can glue it together. So I use the Exo blade to start in one side, take it out, and then I fold it. And I make sure that it's really well stick together. Now we have to finish it. We have it like that. You can see. Now we are going to fold it like that. But for that we will put double-sided tape here and here. What we can use is that the parts that we took out before, we can use them mainly in the side that will be closer to the fold, because then we will have a more precise part, and then we don't waste that much material, and we will have it a more precise way to measuring the size. Then the other side, we can either use a nude piece, or if you have some other ones like me, you can use that as well. remove the excess. Then if you are making plenty of bases at the same time, it will be great. Then you have a lot of different sizes and width that you can play with. Again, take out the plastic side of the tape. Sometimes it's a bit tricky. And then we fold it again, so that we will have the bottom part and the top part. So we can see that we have a rectangle and we want our round base. So it's for the cutting again. This part of the cutting I prefer doing with a pair of scissors because it's not a straight cut. So we are going to cut right in the round border, and we are going to cut out these black parts or these slit parts that are going out. So we can either start it like that. Make sure to pay attention that now it's thicker. We have at least 3 paper folded one on top of the other, and we have also the tape that adds some sturdiness. So cutting like that, and then we'll round it. This will depend a lot on the dexterity that each one have. Some parts also will be like more rounded than the others. That depends on your skill, and you get used to it. So we have it like that. The border are still white. What I like to do is that I take again the permanent marker and I pass it on the border, and this way it will match. It will kind of disappear a little bit when you play with them on your games. Like that. You can see that now you can't really see it. And that's it. One base is ready. But how do we use these bases? The thing is that we will have some minis, and these minis will have a little part here for the base as well. And what we have is that on the slit, we will slide the mini inside. You can see right here, we are sliding the mini inside. What happens sometimes is that it's not that quite well cut and everything, and then we can like force it a little bit outwards so that the slit opens a little bit more, and then we slide our miniature again. But it's quite easy. And it's practical, it's sturdy, it will stay in place. A great option for having your paper miniatures. And then what you can do is that you can take them out after your game is ready, and you take your sheets of, it's usually used for cards, and then you have your miniature with your base already there. And it's much easier to transport. Kev's Lounge have plenty of different layout bases, designs, and he now have a Patreon that I will put the link in the description. You have bases in different sizes, and you have minis from different sizes as well. Most of the ones that I own are medium-sized, but you have some big ones as well. This is a 50mm ones. Post any comments or any question that you have on the comments of the video, and I hope that you will enjoy making these bases and using them in your games as much as I do. Like, share, subscribe, all the things like YouTube and internet works. You know how it works. And see you in the next video. See ya.